as a police legal advisor in the city of Portland, Maine. I went from there and became chief in Colorado of the Arvada Police Department. I had a budget there. I finished up my operational career as chief of police in Orlando with a $25 million budget, and then took over the state police in Colorado with a $100 million budget. In today's terms, that would be about $250 million with a B dollar. In the year 2000, I went with the University of Central Florida, got a $1 million grant to train the Russian police. On 9/11, which is tomorrow, I was in the middle of Siberia with Kevin Barry, the sheriff of Orange County, and 25 local officers here in Central Florida. I'm not an expert, but I have a pretty good feel how budgets work, especially in the public safety area. Last week, I got my notice of tax form. The value of my home in New Smyrna Beach went down 20%. My tax went up. So I did some homework. I talked to a lot of people. I read your budget. My conclusion is the city of New Smyrna Beach has painted themselves into a corner. And if you look at future deficits, you're going to find you can do one of two things. You can either raise taxes, which you're planning to do tonight, mill rate, or you can cut. This is not the time to raise budgets. It's time to cut. Everybody in this room knows what the economic situation is in the country and in local politics this year. This year is different. The people sitting behind me are not going to put up with the 11.2 millage increase that you are proposing in the new budget. You can decrease services, you can cut services, you can eliminate services. I don't really care. I don't have a dog in this fight. I have no dog in this fight or agenda whatsoever. All I know is 11.2% mill increase is not acceptable to me, and probably not the city behind me. This year, for those individuals who raised the millage rate, that 11.2%, there are going to be consequences. I'm retired. I've got time on my hands, money in my pocket, and I'm a retired attorney. There's one thing I've learned in the 40 years of budgets, and that is if you've got the vote, you win. And if you don't got the vote, you lose. The ballot box is the name of the game, whether that's exercised in removal or recalling elected officials pursuant to state statute, or it involves referendums where we tie the hands of the city council, or it involves elections where we remove members of the city council. That's the choice. I guarantee you that the people sitting behind me tonight are not going to put up for 11.2 increase in millage this year. It's going to have consequences. And I will offer my services to those people who don't want that increase for whatever they want to do. That's all I have to say. I've got two questions. Is there any part of what I said tonight that you don't understand? Or do you have any questions for me before I sit down? I've recalled boards before, all the members of boards before, which caused a real problem because there was no provision for reappointing. We lived through that, the other attorney and myself. People are hurting. You've got 6.1% unemployment. You've got foreclosures greater than the Great Depression. Fannie and Freddie were taken over this week, what, in the last 48 hours? You know the figures as well as I do. You've got businesses going out of business here in New Smyrna Beach. And the people behind me with their property taxes and the value of their home going in different directions, that's a real problem. I had a chance to speak to Johnny, super professional, your new city clerk. And I just said to him, this year is different. It's not the same as it has been. I've been here for 12 years. This is my first appearance before the city council. It ain't going to work this year. Now, if that means you have to cut, you cut. You're painted into a corner. I know, I've been there. In the early 80s, I had to reduce my department. You've got union contracts coming up. I've had unions in my police department, not the Teamsters, but I've had unions in my department. I know how the game is played. You're going to be facing bigger problems when you get into real negotiations with those unions. And somebody's going to have to make some tough decisions. It's not me, because you guys get paid to do that, and so do your department heads. I know, I was a department head in a whole lot of departments.
Mr. Koleszar.
Because nobody wants to cut fire or police. I personally don't care how, where, or what you cut. I have no hidden agenda.
Thank you.
Okay, I have no dog in this race whatsoever. You've got the airport, you got the high school, you got the golf course, you've got all kinds of stuff, as we did. But I'll tell you, when I sat down with the new director, or actually Kathleen, she was very professional this afternoon. She knew what I said when I was faced in my police department with cutting. Who do you think I fronted? The school officer. Who's going to cut the school officer? Who's going to cut the dare guy? It ain't going to happen. You know, I'm not one for smoke and mirrors, as you can probably tell. You know, not only was I an attorney, they let me carry a gun. That's a double danger. And basically, you know, I don't do smoke and mirrors. I tell it like it is. I'm never ever going to stab anybody in the back. I'm going to stab you in the chest. You're going to see me coming, as I say. You know, I've been there before. I've been shot at and sliced. And my last 2 interviews in Orlando were Good Morning America, the Today Show. I think I survived the ACLU in that argument. And you know, and basically, people are hurting. I can't say it any better than that.
Well, I appreciate your candor. I mean, I'm asking a question of a taxpayer. Do you want us to look at those areas to cut? And I appreciate your candor.
Everything is on the table. There is no sacred cow.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, my comments, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
I really appreciate your straightforward approach and your offer to help. We have got a period of time between this first public hearing and the final one. And can you make yourself available with your experience to come and...
Can't do it that quick. I'm on vacation on Saturday for 3 weeks.
Oh, come on.
Can't do it. I get too many promises out there out of state.
So what's our restriction by law, by statute, John?
We have to have a budget before October 1st.
I won't be back by October 1st, ma'am. As I said, you painted yourself into a corner.
Well...
You cut everything by 11%.
You don't, basically, that's the argument. You don't raise anything. You leave it at 3.1 and deal with it.
Right.
So, any more questions, Jack?
One for Kathy.
So just keep it so everybody knows who's talking. Thank you.
Since this is strictly ad valorem tax and it goes strictly to public safety, how many policemen, how many firemen would be cut? $500,000 from each department?
How about your way?
We're talking about $1 million.
$1 million.
Yeah.
And it's strictly ad valorem tax.
Yes, it wouldn't affect the airport or the hospital.
No, it doesn't affect anything that's public safety.
Right. Well, anything in the general fund.
Yeah, it's not just public safety, it's the whole general fund.
Okay, listen, sir. Just a minute. The finance officer really is saying important things, and I want you to hear it all. It was a good question. Mr. Koleszar and Kathy are responding. So let's just keep it so that everybody can hear, please. And if you can't hear at the back, would you wave your hand so that we can just remind each other to speak loudly and into the mic? Thank you.
Well, Bill, since we've got you here tonight, can we ask you some questions?
You can ask. I'm not going to get involved in cutting line items.
Oh, no, I'm not asking that. I'm not asking that.
Okay.
But it seems to be...
Seven stations, 120 pieces of equipment, and our fire department had the same rating as Denver, insurance-wise. I sat on the ambulance board. We didn't pay for ambulance either. I sat on the board with the fire chief, the head of the emergency room, and myself. And the ambulance was strictly paid for by the user. No city funds whatsoever. That's my first answer. We didn't have that type of situation. Now it's about 50-50. In the year 2008, you've got something like 30 or 40% volunteers there, and you've got some full-time people because the response rates did go down. But Randy, there are no magic answers. There is
I'm not looking for magic answers. I mean, it's going to take a combination I mean, it's gonna take a pretty broad combination.
Yeah, and I apologize, seriously, I apologize for being out of town on Saturday. We've had this trip planned for months and months and months.
No, you got a life. I mean, I can't.
You know, and it's tough. I mean, I have nothing bad to say about the council. It's been going on for years and years and years and years and years, and maybe there's a reason that you have a new mayor. I don't know, but you know, that's the kind of thing I think of. The new mayor came in November of last year, replacing a mayor who had been here for what, 16 years? 12, okay? And maybe that's the harbinger, maybe that's something you know, maybe you should take notice of. I don't know. I really don't know the answers. Most attorneys know what questions, but don't have the answers. And that's me. It's a tough issue, and as I say, I don't care where you cut, what you do, that's what you get paid for, and your department heads get paid for it.